guys, we're gonna do some yoga tonight. Unfortunately the weather refrained us from going and meeting at Bow and Arrow, but we will be meeting tomorrow night at 6:30. So make sure that you come, and we'll be working on a 75-minute class, new intentions, and just all of the good stuff. So bear with me. I don't normally do this. It's a little awkward because I don't have an actual live audience, but I'm glad that you guys are all joining. Hopefully you guys were the ones that were planning to meet us tonight, and some newcomers as well. We're going to be doing a class tonight that is focused on opening up the hamstrings and really working on getting into splits as our peak pose. So if you have some blocks, 2 of them would be great. If not, maybe you have a dog that could sit still or a water bottle or something. So hi to everyone who's saying hello. This is awesome. I love it. Oh, I can like wave back. Hi, let me wave. Hey, Seth. Hi, guys. Come back. Okay, we're back. Whew. All right. Sorry, guys. I put a timer on my phone that says to get off Instagram, and it just told me that I should get off, but I'm on a live video. So, all right. So go ahead and step onto your mat, and let's get started. I'm going to be playing a little background music today, just because it's hauntingly quiet in here. So let's go ahead and come to a tabletop position. I don't know if your guys' house is really cold, but mine is. So what we'll do is we'll start to warm up the body. And let's start a little bit with the wrist here. So just coming up off the heels of the hands and placing them back down. So I'm keeping the base of my knuckles down on the mat, lifting my heels, dropping them back down. Just doing this just a couple of times, getting the wrist nice and warm. Then I'm going to take the fingertips out towards the edges of the mat, just gently rocking side to side with my shoulders over my wrists. I'm then twisting my fingertips back towards my knees. It might not go as much for you guys, or it might go all the way depending on how flexible you are in the wrists. I'm just going to gently lift those heels of the hands back up. Awesome. Go ahead and coming back into my neutral spine. What I want to do is start my cat-cows. So I'm going to drop the belly button low. Lift the shoulders, hips, and eye gaze up. And on the exhale, round and curl. Draw the belly button up and in. Really pull the shoulder blades apart and lift the back of the heart up. Taking your time and your own speed of your breath here. Getting into any nooks or crannies. I know it's been a really cold day. You guys all have to tell me in the comments about any adventures that you had if you went and built a snowman. If you're tuning in from outside of Albuquerque, we've got a lot of snow, which is like a big deal for us. It's like a shit ton of snow. An actual measurement. So getting into the side body here, what I like to do is kind of jump rope. So where I allow the rib cage to tuck up and in, knitting the ribs and then dropping them all the way down, really expanding. And then going the other direction, dropping the ribcage down. Finding some cat-cows as well as circular movements. Coming back to that neutral spine, all I'm going to do is extend my right foot all the way back behind me and tuck the toes under. And just as I'm pushing front to back, stretching through the wrists, and then into my right calf. So propelling my weight forward and back. And then coming back to that neutral spine, I'm going to lift that right foot up off the mat, but I want to make sure that I don't lose my stomach completely. So I'm drawing it up and in, I'm knitting the ribs, and then I'm extending that right heel back behind me. And then the left arm comes all the way up, bicep in line with the ear, and on the exhale, instead of taking the knee and elbow together, I want to take the knee all the way up to my tricep, and my elbow all the way back towards my hip. Inhale long. Exhale, reach. Inhale long. Exhale, reach. Inhale long. I'm going to hold it here, and I'm going to start to extend, drawing my heel in towards my glute. And then if I want to, I can take my left hand back and around. If I can connect to the foot, great. If I can't, you can just stay right here and feel that contraction in the hamstring where we draw the heel towards the glute. If you do take that reach, though, what I want you to do is think of lifting up. We achieve that by keeping the foot into the hand and finding that stretch. You'll probably feel it all the way up that right leg. Go ahead and gently come back down. Take a couple more cat-cows. Inhaling long and exhaling, rounding and curling. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Luckily you're in the comfort of your own home, so you can get really breathy with this. The breathier the better. No one laughs at my jokes when I'm doing it at home too. Except for me apparently. Extend that left foot all the way back behind you, and again stretch into the calf. Push off from the toes, similar to how we do in our full plank. Coming back into the calf. Push off away from the toes. Go ahead and come back. Then draw that left foot up this time. Again, not trying to overarch here where we're extending the belly button down. We're drawing it up and in. We're still nice and engaged. Think of knitting the ribs to the belly button. Find that long line with the right arm extending bicep to the ear. And then on your exhale, knee comes to tricep, elbow comes back towards the hip quad. Inhale, reach long. Exhale, draw it in. Inhale, reaches long. Exhale, draws it in. Last time, inhale, reaches long. Start to contract that hamstring, bringing the heel in towards the glute. You can rotate the right arm all the way around and back. Start to kick the foot into the hand and find some length here. Rather than thinking of drawing that back bend, think more of lifting the heart up and forward. Then come back to that neutral spine, cat-cow a few more times. Back to the neutral spine, go ahead and tuck the toes, and all we're going to do here is by lifting up the hips, we're going to start to draw our belly button and our quads together. So we come into what some refer to as a turbo dog. What I want you to do is find this nice straight line from the sacrum all the way down to the wrists. Taking just a few seconds here, this is really helpful to set up our down dog so we find some extension where we can draw the shoulder blades away from one another and wrap the triceps down and under, biceps and ears in line. One more inhale. And then on the exhale, we start to straighten into the legs as much as we can for our down dog. One more inhale. Exhale, you can pedal out the feet here, getting the hamstrings to wake up just a little bit. Inhale. And exhale. Go ahead and come high up onto the tippy toes, and let's tiptoe walk the feet all the way up to the hands. Then drop the heels down, bend the knees, and just allow the upper body to drape over the legs. Grab opposite elbows. Wiggle side to side. Go ahead and plant the fingertips down. Inhale, look up, lengthen. Exhale, come back down, bending the knees. Inhale, keep the knees bent and rise all the way up, stopping in chair, and then coming all the way up to our standing position. Hands come down by our side, shoulders drop down and away from the ears. Go ahead and take a deep inhale. And the deep exhale, swan dive, fold forward, bend into the knees. Allow the head to hang. Inhale, look up, lengthen, knees are still bent. Plant the hands down and step the feet back to our plank. So in the plank position, we want to make sure that we're high up onto the tippy toes. Our shoulders are projecting over the palms of the hands, not on top of the wrists. And our eye gaze is just going to be slightly forward. We're drawing the belly button up and in. We're finding this nice roundness through the back. Think of lifting the back of the heart up between the shoulder blades. Take one more inhale. And go ahead and drop the knees down, and on our exhale, we wrap the elbows in, triceps engaged. Come down halfway, then all the way. So lean all the way down onto our stomach. And then all we're going to do from here is just lift the heart, shine it forward, baby cobra. Exhale, bring it down. Inhale, bring it back up a little bit more. Exhale, bring it down. This time we're going to come all the way up and through cobra. You might have to inch the body a little bit more forward. So we want to try and get those wrists in line with our shoulders and lift the heart up. So the difference between cobra and up dog is just our knees. Go ahead and tuck the toes. Come back through that turbo dog, quads and belly button to connect. And then on your next exhale, working on the heels to get somewhere towards the ground. Mine usually don't make their way down there, so don't worry about that as much as finding length through the back and through the back of the legs. Go ahead and come high up onto the tippy toes, tiptoe walk the feet all the way up to the hands. Go as far as you can go. Take a second, drop the heels down. Working a bit more on a straight leg here. We're trying to bring our hips over our ankles. If you're like me, I have incredibly tight hamstrings. So we're working on getting some allowance here. If your hips are back, that's okay to start to shift towards the toes. Inhale, look up halfway, lengthen. Exhale, fold into it, bend the knees. Inhale, keep the knees bent, come all the way up through your chair. Reach tall, come down through Samasthiti or standing mountain pose. Take a deep inhale. And exhale, let it go. Inhale, arms come all the way up. And exhale, swan dive, lead with the heart, fold forward, take your time. Inhale, look up, lengthen halfway. Exhale, plant the hands. You can step, walk, or float the feet back to plank. So you guys can't see it, but my husband's doing yoga right over here, over my shoulder, and he's shaking his head at me now. So now I have an audience. This is great. Hi, Leonard. All right, guys, so you can choose to do the modified chaturanga. You can come down halfway or all the way. You can leave the knees lifted or drop them down. I'll do another modification, coming down halfway. And this time I'm lifting all the way up into my cobra pose. Again, if you want to, you can ground down through the tops of the feet, lift the knees, and extend the heart forward. On the next exhale, we flip over the toes, coming back to our down dog. Now we should be getting nice and warm, so take one more inhale here. And on our exhale, you can step, walk, or float the feet to the hands. On our inhale, let's get long through the spine, halfway lift. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, don't bend the knees this time, maybe just a micro bend, bring the body all the way up. Exhale, take the hands down by your side. And just as we do in every class, go ahead and draw the hands to heart center. Close the eyes for just a second if you have a lot of distractions in the room. Trying to be mindful of drawing it back onto your mat. I can hear my dog's pitter patter of their tippy toes. They might be making a guest appearance tonight. Taking one more inhale here and mindfully breathing on your next exhale to let it all go and reset. Inhale the arms overhead. Exhale, swan dive, fold forward. Inhale, look up halfway, lengthen. Exhale, plant the hands, step, walk, or float back plank. Taking 3 deep inhales and exhales here. Each time trying to find that lightness to this posture. High up on the toes, shoulders on top of the palms. Eye gaze is just slightly forward. Take another deep inhale. And on the exhale, we chaturanga. On the inhale, we come up through our up dog. And exhale into our down dog. So now that we should be getting nice and warm, we're going to start working on opening up a bit more through the hamstrings and quads to get into our peak posture tonight, which is splits. Inhale the right toes high to the sky. Really shoot that right pinky toe down towards your mat so we're squaring off the hips. On the next exhale, draw that right knee up and in towards your right tricep, plank. Inhale, as if you're shifting weight, push that foot all the way up and back, slow it down. Exhale, knee comes up and in towards the tricep, try and find that tuck. Take it all the way up and back. This time, the exhale, the knee comes up and in, pulling up towards the nose, look forward, step the foot between the hands. So if you need to, however you can, lasso that foot to get nice and center here. Go ahead and just float the fingertips away from the mat, high up on that left toes. Exhale, bring it back down, drop the back knee, making sure that it's nice and away from the hips. Untuck the toes, and then inhale, bring the body up and release the hands on that right quad. So just doing a couple checks here, we want to make sure that that left hip is pulling forward. So if more of an external rotation with that left quad, we're not really engaging. We should be stretching and feeling that pull come all the way down from the rib cage. So really engage by internally rotating that left hip, drawing the left hip forward, and finding that squared off position. Taking one more inhale. One more exhale. Inhale. Exhale, go ahead and plant the hands. Go ahead and shift the hips back and draw a nice straight line through this right leg. So our right toes are pointing up and forward. We're having that foot flex, the toes are drawing back towards us when we're nice and engaged. You should be just a feather touch over your fingertips here. If you want to, you can even use your blocks for this one, because it's not so much about the fingertips touching, it's more about this right hip drawing back. So even if you have to drag your right foot back to engage, think of locking that hip into place. One more inhale. Now on the exhale, we start to work on folding forward. And a lot of times what we want to do is we want to start to crouch forward. What I want you to do is push high up onto the fingertips, lift the heart forward and chin rises, and then start to bend through the elbows. One more inhale. And exhale. Go ahead and bring the body forward again, making sure we're in front of that left kneecap. Coming back to our lunge where we started, our Anjalayasana, our modified crescent lunge. We walk the right foot to the edge of our mat. And all we're going to do is gently start to push that right knee away. We're just going to start to twist open over our right side. Our eye gaze follows our sternum or just a little bit past. And we can come to the knife edge of the right foot and allow that right leg to just open. If it's in your practice and you want to get a bit more of a quad stretch here, just think of sinking that left hip down. You can draw the left heel in towards the glute and play around with this balance here. Where the balance part is where we either draw that heel closer towards our glute, where we really engage the quad. Or if you'd like to open a bit more into a psoas stretch, think of kicking that foot into the hand, just like we did at the beginning of class, and allowing that heart to open up towards the sky and maybe drops back. Taking one more inhale, and one more exhale. On your next inhale, windmill that right hand back around if you took that bind variation. So we're in a lizard lunge where the right tricep is in line with the right knee. So all I want you to do is come high up onto the toes, and we're just going to twist over to our left side. We're going to come into a side lunge or skandasana. So our right toes are out at about a 45-degree angle, and our left toes are pointing up towards the ceiling. You can use the left hand under the left quad or hamstring as a kickstand. The right tricep can just gently nudge that knee away from your body and get a bit of an opening. This is always a work in progress for me. Some people can just pop into this easily and hold it, but I feel like I have to hunch forward. Take one more inhale, and on the exhale, slowly unwind, come back to where we started in that runner's lunge, but bring that right foot center of the body again. So all we're going to do from here is get into a nice deep hamstring stretch. I want you to push the hips up and back. So it's okay if that left heel is off the ground and the toes are at about a 45-degree angle. You can even draw the right toes off the ground as well and really activate all the way up through that quad and hamstring. Hopefully you're feeling it. Take one more inhale. Exhale. So I want you to inhale, look forward, find that flat back and walk the hands forward. And all we're going to do on the next exhale is push off of that left foot and draw it up towards the sky. So we're going to come into standing splits, but we're going to take a variation here with bent knees. So it's not so much about that extension here as it is, I want you to feel what it feels like by bending the knees. Then we're going to take the right hand and we're going to wrap it all the way behind our right calf. Fingertips point down towards the heel. Take an inhale where we look up, lengthen, and on the exhale, draw the nose and the knee a little bit closer. Don't worry about this floating leg. If you already have it, you can extend, pushing the ground away and the heels away from one another. Otherwise, just stay here and feel that right hamstring fire up. One more inhale. Exhale, slowly bend into the right knee. Take the left foot all the way back. Right foot goes all the way back to meet the left plank. One more inhale. That's a lie, we have two more. Exhale. Inhale. And on your exhale, come down, chaturanga. Up dog. Down dog. Go ahead and take a nice big deep inhale. And a nice open mouth, loud exhale. Inhale, left toes come high to the sky. Square the hips. Think of that pinky toe drawing down. Exhale, knee comes up towards the tricep. An optional arm balance is here for anyone who wants to take it. Inhale, the left toes high. Exhale, knee to tricep. Inhale, take it all the way up and back. Exhale, this time knee comes to the nose. Look forward, step the foot between the hands. Go ahead and float the fingertips. Find that nice engagement with the legs first. Then plant the hands down, knee comes down to follow. Untuck the toes, inhale the body up, crescent lunge. So I don't usually wear socks when I practice, unless it's at home because it's cold. Otherwise you kind of slip around, so. Go ahead and take that right hip, making sure that it's actively pulling forward, so we're getting it in line with that left hip. One more inhale. Exhale, plant the hands, bump the hips back. Again, if you have to drag that left heel back to get in line, hip to hip, go ahead and do so and really come high up onto the fingertips here. It's more about length to get into that isolated hamstring stretch. Our chin is rising, and then if we choose to go further, think of bending the elbows, hinging at the hips, keeping the heart and the eye gaze tall. One more inhale. Good, exhale. Go ahead and walk the hands forward. I'm going to twist around for sake of you guys in the view. But all we're going to do is lift high up onto those toes and twist over to your right side of the mat. Coming into Skandasana on the other side. This time if you want to take that right hand, putting it under the right hamstring. Toes are flexed to the sky. We're working to get this left heel down as much as we can. So get nice and situated in here. Maybe the hands come to heart center. If this is too much, you can always do a nice toe stand, or you can come up a bit and still feel the stretch to the inside of that thigh. One more inhale. Exhale. I'm just going to go to the back of my mat this time. Twisting back around. And then all we're going to do is push the hips up and back, stretching into both legs. Thinking of it as a wide-legged, almost pyramid stance. So if the heel or the toes don't go down, play around with it. You might be shifting and wiggling a little bit. It's a pretty intense stretch. Take one more inhale. On the exhale, walk the hands forward and take lift off, drawing the right toes high to the sky this time. Bending both legs as much as you need to. I'd rather you focus on this compression where the front side body starts to glue to that left leg. Wrap the left forearm around the back of the calf. Inhale. Exhale, knee comes in towards the nose, nose into the knee. And then you can work on the extension from there if it feels right. One more inhale. Exhale, right toes come back down. Left foot goes back to meet the right. Plank. I have to grab a sip of water. Holding our plank here. One more inhale. One more exhale. Chaturanga Vinyasa flow. And then we'll meet back in our down dog. Taking 2 deep inhales and exhales here. Hopefully the backs of the legs are feeling nice and warm. Good and stretched. We have a little bit more to do. Inhale, draw the right toes high to the sky. Exhale, right knee, right tricep. Inhale, push it all the way up and back. Exhale, knee to left tricep. Push it all the way up and back. This time, knee to nose, look forward, step it all the way through lunge. And then inhale, start to bring the body up this time into our crescent lunge. So we want to keep active arms. So from a front view, a lot of times what we do is we draw the shoulders up into the ears, just in the sake of getting more length through the fingertips. I want you to drop the shoulders down away from the ears and still activate the fingertips up. So finding a strong crescent lunge where our heels are pulling away from one another, we're still drawing that left hip forward, right hip back. Take one more inhale here. And on the exhale, we start to open it up into our warrior two. So this is where we're going to start to need a prop. So if you can grab it and bring it somewhere around your foot, wherever you need to go, just so it's accessible. So in our warrior two, our right knee is right ankle, if not slightly behind it. We're settling down low into our warrior two. Shoulders drop away from the ears. Inhale. Keep the legs exactly how they are. Exhale, take the right arm all the way up and back. Keep breathing here, finding that length. One more inhale. And one more exhale, reach a little bit longer. Bring it back up, warrior two. So all we're gonna do from here is we're gonna take that right hand down to our block. You can take it inside or outside of the foot. Right now I'm doing inside because I really wanna open through the inside of my quad and hamstring. And all I'm gonna do is just draw my left arm up high to the sky. And on an exhale, all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna rotate that left hand down, all the way up and around. And I'm gonna settle that shoulder down the back, bicep in line with my ear. So finding this nice extension here. One more inhale. One more exhale. Inhale, push down through that right foot, come all the way back up to warrior two. This time straighten the right leg. Hips are centered between the heels. Take it back in a nice straight legged reverse warrior option here. One more inhale. On the exhale, come back up to our warrior two. Go ahead and look back at that left hand. Keep looking back at the left hand as you reach forward with the right hand. When you can't reach anymore, just tick-tock, drop the right hand down, left arm comes high. You might have to adjust the block a little bit, where you can place the hand on the shin, ankle, or if you're all the way down at the toes, just be mindful that you haven't started to hunch that left shoulder forward. So we're just working a bit of a different stretch here through our quads and hamstrings. One more inhale. On the exhale, bring the left hand down to meet the right. And square that right foot, come high on the left toes. Start to bow the front side of that body over the right leg. Coming into that wide-legged stretch again. One more inhale. Exhale. This time the challenge is, see if you can pick that right foot up and slide it all the way up and back, three-legged dog. If you did that, right foot meets the left. Shift high, up and forward plank. One more, inhale. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Meeting in your down dog. I hope you guys are still with me. Otherwise, it's just the Leonards over here doing this. Inhale, the left toes high to the sky. Exhale, knee comes up to the left tricep. Inhale, push it all the way up and back. Exhale, knee comes up and into the right tricep, twist. Inhale, take it up and back. Exhale, knee comes all the way up and through, plant it between the hands. Inhale, bring the body up for crescent lunge. I'm going to twist around. Coming back to this crescent lunge, our right heel's off the mat, and our arms are extending nice and long, tall to the sky. Shoulders drop down away from the ears, keep it engaged. Inhale. Exhale, start to open it up, warrior two to the other side. So deep bend in that left leg, my socks are slipping. Nice added challenge. Sitting low into that left leg, really trying to open up here through the hips. Take it all the way up and back, reverse. Bring it all the way up, warrior two. This time I'll show the other option. If you don't have a block, left arm comes down and right arm comes all the way up to the sky. So I really want to make sure my shoulders are stacking here. So if I'm starting to hunch forward or if I'm overarching back, I'm starting to lose the stretch that I can be feeling here. Go ahead and windmill that left or the right arm all the way down, up and around, and really drop the shoulder down the back. Bicep comes to the ear, and if you can, look up towards the fingertips. One more inhale. And exhale. Inhale, bring it back up, this time straighten both legs. Take it back one more time. Find that nice straight leg stretch. Inhale it up. And this time we take that left hand down. Oh, sorry, let's reset. Let's do it right. Go ahead and look back at the right hand. Reach forward with the left, and then drop it down. Right arm comes high. So again, if you find yourself that you're trying to get all the way down and your right shoulder starts to hunch, I'd rather you think of really someone pulling that right hand and straightening your body out. So our shoulders are essentially aligning our hips. One more inhale. Exhale, right hand comes down. Bring that right foot in at about a 45-degree angle or a little bit more narrow. Inhale. Exhale, bow. Good job, guys. And all we're going to do is push down through those fingertips. Draw the left foot all the way up and back. Three-legged dog. Left foot meets the right. Plank. Chaturanga. Up dog. And down dog. All right, guys. So let's go ahead and get into our peak posture today, which is splits. It really got warm in here. Okay. So, I love having socks on for splits, especially, obviously, if you have hardwood floors. I usually use the mat for my advantage of padding under the knee of whatever leg's in the back. You can use the blocks in line with your hips to really find kind of where that point is. Splits are one thing where you can absolutely go way too far too quick, and then you kind of have to pull this like emergency oh shit handle, but you'll notice that there really isn't one, so using blocks to be safe rather than sorry is definitely what I would suggest. So, as we get into our splits, a couple things that I want you guys to know and think about is really keeping the hips square. So if you do splits all the time, it's not really much of an issue for you. Keeping those back toes tucked when you're in full expression, that's really going to help you to square off the hips. So whatever leg is in the back really starts to draw forward a bit more, because that's where the really intense stretch happens. And we want to find that nice square composure with this posture. So I'm going to set up at the highest block right now. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to bring that right foot forward to come to our modified lunge where we started. So very similar. If you just want to stay here and continue to stretch down that left quad, absolutely do so. So the right foot now is going to act as kind of like my gas brake. So the left leg's in place, it's ready to go. Just go back a little bit more into the frame here. And then I'm just going to play around, especially with the socks, be mindful because it can get away from you pretty quick. All I'm going to do is my gas brake. So I'm going to draw my heel down, half splits, and then I'm just going to start to push that right heel down and away from me. So I can't do full expression, so I'm not so much worried about the toes being tucked behind me. I'm just worried about my control that I have on the blocks. So if you want it in a lower setting, maybe you're feeling like that's okay, you can back off with that gas brake, and then work down into the splits again. Being mindful not to shift any tension into the shoulders, because we can start to wear earrings here. I'd rather you be lifting high, maybe even coming onto the fingertips here will help. Taking one more inhale. And one more exhale. Good job, guys. And slowly draw that right heel back up and in. Okay, come to your tabletop, maybe take a couple cat-cows. Reset the spine. Whatever it is that you need. And then what I want you to do is come back onto the mat, tuck the toes, and just sit the hips back onto the heels and find a toe stretch here. Nothing really of significance, just to forget what the hell we just did with our splits, especially if it didn't go according to plan. Hopefully it did. Go ahead and inhale the arms up overhead. Drop the right palm down the base of the neck and start to just tug a little bit gently onto that right elbow, stretching through the tricep. Again, no real significance other than just giving ourselves a break from the lower half. Switch to the other elbow and find that stretch all the way up the tricep. And come back down. So we're going to do it on the other side. Another thing to remember is to breathe. So if you found that you were holding your breath in that one, maybe on this side, let's try and challenge ourselves so that we can get a bit more activated with our breath. So coming back to our Anjali Asana, our low modified lunge. Take a deep inhale. With the exhale, bump the hips back, extend that left leg, half Hanumasana, and start to extend that left heel away from you. So if you're all the way down, tuck the back toes and find some extension here. back to your tabletop. Go ahead and inhale and exhale, moving through some cat-cows, resetting the spine. And all we're going to do is we're going to take that right foot all the way up back behind us. And then we're going to take it all the way out to our side. So imagine that we're at a really fun brewery class right now, and we're trying to reach for our neighbors and make it just a little bit awkward. Go ahead and take that right heel in line with the left knee. And then we're just going to start to sweep the left hand out. So we're making one straight line off of the mat, and draw that right arm high to the sky, coming into our gate pose. And start to just reach, opening up that right side body. Go ahead and bring it back up. Start to float the right foot up as well, and then draw the heel in towards the glute. And see if you can connect that hand to the top of the foot, and just kick into it a little bit. Opening up that side body. Slowly unwind and sweep the body forward, coming into your child's pose. Slowly roll the body up towards your tabletop. Take that left foot all the way out in line with the right knee. And walk the right hand out in line with that knee as well. Reach up with the left hand and over, finding that side body stretch. I'm running out of room, so I'll come over here. Feeling that nice open side. Start to raise the left hand, left foot, and then take the heel in towards the glute. Maybe connect the hand and open up just a little bit. Slowly unwind, straightening back out. Child's pose this time. Go ahead and flip the palms up towards the sky and allow those shoulders just to drape away from one another. If the third eye happens to meet the mat, just gently rock it side to side, bringing some mindfulness and intention back into our practice. Coming back to the breath. Go ahead and come back up to your tabletop. And the right knee slides all the way up towards our right wrist, and the toes twist over to our left side. And however you choose to, you can inch that left knee back and away from you. Coming up into our nice proud pigeon pose. Setting up here, just sitting down into the hips, lifting up through the heart. You can choose to stay here, or you can start to melt the heart all the way down onto the mat. If you stop at the elbows, but you find that the shoulders start to pierce a bit up towards the sky, then take the elbows away from you and just allow that heart to melt down towards the mat. So what you should be feeling in this stretch is a lot of intensity in the hips. You should also be feeling it along the glute. Maybe into the IT band, depending on how tight you are. Be mindful of the knee. If this doesn't feel accessible for you, you can always roll all the way onto your back. Cross that right ankle up and over the quad, and then start to draw the left knee in towards the chest. But if you do this, making sure that we're keeping that left foot active, so it's not just a dead fish. Nobody likes dead fish anyway. Draw the left knee up and in. It's the same exact thing we're emulating with just a little bit more control rather than the body weight pressing down into pigeon posture. So if a quad stretch or any variations in your practice or something that you're working on, you can start to come back up to the fingertips. Otherwise, take the next few breaths still down in sleeping pigeon. We're just working on getting that heel in towards the glute if you are taking a quad stretch. Being mindful here that we don't lose the hips and the interaction that we have with them. So if you start to just bow down onto the right hip, you've actually kind of lost the stretch, and you might just be inclined to hurt yourself a bit more than anything. So really think of finding length here, especially if you're working on getting that elbow around the outside of the foot. And then maybe you come into a variation of mermaid, or if you're working on king pigeon, anything like that. I'm gonna assume that you guys look really great right now. I can feel it. So wherever you're at, slowly release that left foot down. And go ahead and come down to the forearms. Tuck the left toes. And because you guys know how much I love planks, let's go ahead and come to a forearm plank. So you can choose to stay here, or you can engage through those hamstrings one more time by walking the toes in closer towards the elbows. You can always drop to a peaceful warrior, or if it's in your practice to do some sort of an inversion, you can take that time here. Wherever you're at, drop the knees out. Drag the hips back to the heels, and take a nice peaceful warrior. If you took the time to do an inversion on that one, just go ahead and come back to the breath with deep inhales and deep exhales. Go ahead and bring the heart back up into our tabletop. Take the left foot up, or left knee up and in, sweep the foot around. Come back to your pigeon. I hope you guys are sweating. I am. I'm also still talking to myself. Go ahead and come high up onto the fingertips, lifting the heart high to the sky. Sometimes this becomes a bit intense through the heart and throat chakra. Allowing the pose to do some work for you rather than against you. Settling into it. You might start to come down to your sleeping pigeon, knowing that one side's always a little trickier than the other. Leonard's on dog duty. If you're working on mermaid or king pigeon, taking that on the other side. Try not to sink too much into that left hip like that I so kindly and graciously showed you. So working on whatever variation of the stretch, not forcing it, just breathing into it. And slowly unwinding, planting the forearms back down to the mat. Tucking the right toes, lifting the knee and sliding the left foot back, coming into our forearm plank. Again, you can walk the toes up closer towards the elbows, coming into dolphin, which is just downward dog on your forearms. Or you can take an inversion of any kind, maybe it's headstand, wherever your practice might go. Taking just a few breaths as I eat my sweatshirt. And then meeting back in our peaceful warrior. I hope you guys are still with me. This is getting good. It's the best part. Slowly start to drag your hands closer to your body, sweeping the feet away from you and extending them all the way out to the top of your mat. Go ahead and take a nice big deep inhale. And just showing you guys here how the breath really works to your advantage with yoga. Getting whatever you need to out of the way. We're going to do some inhales where we always find length, and exhales where we start to hinge at the hips, thinking of drawing the belly in just a little bit, creating a bit more space here. So it's not about sucking in, it's more about finding that length and then reaching. So we're going to inhale tall. And we're going to exhale, fold forward. Keeping the chin and the chest high. Inhale tall. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. On this last one, inhale. And then we're going to round and curl. Allow the shoulders to pull apart, drape down and forward. And just bow. Slowly inhale, come all the way up. And exhale, slowly roll all the way down onto your mat. So as we relax down here, we're gonna just do a couple more, drawing the knees into the chest. Curling into a ball, rocking the side, rocking from side to side, massaging that sacrum. And because you're in the comfort of your own home, you can do what you want. So coming into a happy baby. Maybe gently rocking side to side. I like to do ninja baby where one heel comes in and the other extends, and I really rock. Nice and slow. And then gluing the soles of the feet together and dropping the knife edges of the feet down, knees out. Inhale the arms up overhead, grab opposite elbows. And just allow for the body to expand as it melts down into the mat. And when I say expand, really inhale, exaggerate, allow those rib cages to puff up towards the ceiling. And then on the exhale, just deplete all of the air. So taking whatever twists or turns your practice might still be craving. Knowing that it's quite impossible to get into every nook and cranny in a yoga class. But allowing that body to just shift and move, I always just say close your eyes and allow whatever movement to happen. Staying nice and relaxed down onto your mat, maybe extending the heels all the way out, mats with distance apart. And I really appreciate you guys always supporting YogaZo. I think some of you joined me tonight on this live broadcast, so I really, really hope that you guys got a good practice in, even though we weren't able to meet in person. We will be able to tomorrow. We will be back on the mat. Charlotte will be at Spurline at 5, and I'll be doing the intention class as scheduled tonight, tomorrow at 6:30 at Bow and Arrow. But until then, I want you to melt down onto your mat. And I'm going to close out tonight's practice with 3 deep inhales and 3 open mouth audible exhales. So close your eyes and take a nice big deep inhale. Taking as much time as you need on your mat, or drawing the hands to the third eye, thinking only positive thoughts for you, yourself, those that you love, and this community around you, always in Albuquerque and beyond. Bringing the hands to the mouth, speaking only positive words to you, yourself, those that you love, and anyone that's around you. And hands to heart, believing that there is still so much good in this world, and knowing you are very much a big part of that. From my heart to yours, thank you for joining me. Namaste. Bye guys. I hope you have a happy, happy, happy New Year. Thanks so much for joining me.